Hola e bienvenido al cuarto episodio del podcast State of Nature.
That's supposed to mean hello and welcome to the fourth episode of State of Nature podcast in Spanish. Well, that's what Google Translator thinks, and something else Google Translator thinks. Fish and chips in Welsh means chips and banana.
Glodion banana.
If you're in our class, you'll understand that joke.
Well,
No.
if you were in our class.
Yes.
In this episode, we will be talking about Peat. No, not Peat, your next door neighbour that mows his lawn every day. Peat the wetland. What is it? Why do we use it? Is it good or bad for the environment? And do light bulbs drink water? Three out of 4 of those questions will be answered in this episode.
Well, I've actually researched quite a bit into that, and light bulbs do actually drink water because the light particles in the glass absorb the water from the sky or ceiling or shower or whatever. And yes, light bulbs do drink water. Case closed.
Claire's type of humour is very different to us.
Share a lesson on what a joke is. Let's have a look at what peat is and why we must protect this precious habitat.
Peat is a type of wetlands which are among the most valuable ecosystems on Earth. They are critical for preserving global biodiversity, preserve safe drinking water, minimise flood risk, and help address climate change.
Peatlands are environmentally friendly, but when peatlands are drained by humans, the peat decomposes and carbon is released into the atmosphere as a greenhouse gas.
15% of the world's peatlands have been drained, sadly. Half of the world's wetlands, or peatlands, the surface is a layer of peat, which is composed of a plant material that has accumulated for thousands of years without decomposing, because the environment is saturated with water.
Peatlands are the deposit that contain more carbon in less space in terrestrial zones, although they only cover about 3% of the terrestrial surface of the planet. They store more carbon than all biomass of the forests of Earth.
Gardeners use moss mainly as a soil or an ingredient in potting soil. It has an acid pH, so it's ideal for acid-loving plants like blueberries and camellias.
The world's peatlands are thought to contain 180 to 455 billion metric tons of carbon.
That's a lot.
It is.
A lot.
Golden plover, hen harrier, Desmoulins wool snail, skylark, and many more species rely on peatlands to live.
Norway is the first country to ban deforestation in the world. That is leading a great example to other countries.
A hot blob has killed over 1 million birds in the Pacific Ocean.
And lastly, a protester called Laser has been evicted from the Euston tunnels after being in there for 11 days and 30 hours on a lock-on.
That's really a lot of time.
It is.
If you have no concept of
what a lock-on is, it's basically a bit of cement with materials in, and they get locked to it.
Right, now we're going to be saying our opinions on peat. That sounds very weird in a sentence. We're not judging any peats out there. Just so we're going to be just saying, do we think it should be stopped? And in my opinion, I think there are bits of peats that are good and bits that are not. Peatlands, not your next door neighbour that mows the lawn or whatever. So as I said, it's a bit more up. They're one of the most valuable ecosystems on Earth. They preserve global biodiversity, provide safe drinking water, minimize flood risk, and help address climate change. So there are a lot of good points there. But as Joe said, if you burn it, it makes harm to the environment.
No, not wait.
Um,
No. It isn't burning. It's if you dig it up, it
Oh,
releases.
right, three,
you would-
two.
no, just if you expose it.
It release.
Oh,
Yeah,
if you
expose
expose-
it
oh,
to
okay.
the and it goes into that.
Literally, if you just take the vegetation off the top of it, bam.
Bang!
Do gardeners and
Uh,
stuff like
I'm a ghost.
do they like
What?
get the vegetation off?
Pardon?
Do people take the vegetation off?
Yeah, to dig it up, to go and compost. So there are
Oh,
many things. So,
Yeah.
so there
Gardeners
are-
use
there are
moss
these
mainly
farmers.
as a solar ingredients in
Okay.
potting soil.
Guys, I'm going to give you the whole story. So there are farmers that burn the heather for on these peatland. So new heather grows for, I think, black grouse or something, or these birds to get the new things. So they breed these birds, and then what do they do? I think then they have these shootings that people go and pay thousands of pounds for. Anyway, well, long story short, they they burn the heather for new growths for these chicks, and it's exposing the peat. So because there's no heather or moss or stuff on top, the peat, and the carbon's being exposed.
you said people pay thousands of pounds to go watch birds being killed.
Yeah.
Why would you pay that much money?
Well, it's called
See-
grouse shooting.
Yeah,
see
it's a
just
sport.
bird? Yeah,
I
I
think that's
know.
why
just to see a-
hen harriers are in so much decline because of these grouse shooting. Because there are people going in a line, herding these birds, and then there are people shooting them. And the grouse go up ahead and they shoot them in the air, and I think they shoot the hen harriers as well.
Yeah,
But-
it used to be a very popular sport in the olden days.
Still is really.
I think
Not
that
Yeah, but not as popular.
I
Yeah.
think the government should. They've done quite well. Not no, they haven't done a lot.
Well,
to be honest.
They've done nothing.
Well, the thing is, there is some protected areas,
Yeah, they
but people breaking to these protected areas and still shoot. Just really hard to keep those protected areas protected.
yeah.
I think the government should ban stuff like that because it's well, in America guns are legal. Britain,
They aren't. In America they're not.
yeah, they are legal. Why would they sell a bunch of them then?
Oh, I thought you said guns are illegal.
Oh no, yeah, I said guns are legal.
But they're
and-
legal,
No,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
but
no,
are they-
guns are.
are
So what?
guns legal in Britain? Well, no, like armed forces have them.
You No,
you're
you
allowed
can't-
to have one as a farmer if you have a
Yeah.
license. You need a
Yeah,
license. though.
can.
And so basically, I think they should just ban guns all round in Britain because
Well, apart from military and stuff.
apart from military and stuff, but like just for example, just got farmers. Well, wait, farmers might need them, but they shouldn't be using them for stuff like that. I think they should be able to like hunt and stuff, but not. Well, that makes my point stupid because I'm saying I would be fine with them hunting animals, but I wouldn't be fine with them shooting animals from the air.
Yeah, but the point is like
That's a competition.
the cows and the livestock that they make are bred especially for that, but the grouse are wild. And
Yeah.
they're not domesticated and they could do it in a way where it didn't harm the hen harriers and didn't
Yeah.
expose. Go on a huge tangent, but back to the peat. They should
Yeah.
shouldn't burn the heather. Also, this is off the point. The government said to garden centres something about not selling compost with peat in. And garden centres said, oh, we'll do it slowly over the years. They've not done anything and the government haven't. They're still selling composts with peat in. The government haven't done anything.
As I said in a few episodes ago, I think, or we've only done 3, including this 4. The government aren't doing. They aren't. They ask
They aren't
people.
considering these.
They're considering it. Then they ask people
But
to
not-
do something, but they don't push them. For example, with the peat thing, they told garden centres to stop selling compost with peat. They didn't do it, and they haven't done anything. And I think they do that with a lot of stuff. To be honest, because they
just to make it
they only
seem like just
They
I think
announced.
like we said in deforestation, they're faking their understanding. So they're saying, yeah, we understand. So they're saying, right, don't do this, but they're not really like properly saying, right, you actually can't do this at all. They're just saying, don't do this.
Like in UK, they've announced an ecological crisis. Well, there is. Okay, great. They've announced it, but actually,
What have they done?
they might as well have not, because HS2, for example, that is not like it's not eco-friendly at
Yeah,
all.
They're
And like
they're
this
saying
200
this is very eco-friendly. This is
and,
going to
like,
be a
the-
big step in helping climate change.
the 200 billion pounds that HS2 will cost, that could either go to projects that will actually help the UK's environment and help us tackle climate change, or it could go towards, for example, like the NHS, stuff that actually need it. And it's like,
I know they're just it's just a bit annoying because it's just. I remember doing. We had a lesson with what we want and what we need. With HS2, the government wants it, but we don't need it. If you know what I mean.
The government have done a 10-point plan for the climate emergency, and the things they've put down is advancing offshore wind, driving the growth of low carbon hydrogen, delivering new and advanced nuclear power, accelerating the shift to zero emissions vehicles, which they've started. Green public transport.
Zero emission vehicles.
Well, they've said like no petrol or diesel cars by 2030, and green public transport, cycling and walking. That's good. They've started it in Newport and Cardiff. I think they've started.
They have.
And they've done some hydrogen buses in Leeds, I think, which is good. And they have a lot of hydrogen buses already. Just need to do more. Jet Zero.
Yeah, like
green.
They are doing something, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Remember, the first zero emission plane, I think it was hydrogen, was flown a month or 2 ago, and I was just like, wow, zero emission planes will, but they're not investing in anything like that. They're just investing in projects that are still damaging.
I don't want to get too political here, but it says Jet Zero and green ships. And with Brexit, I'm sorry to bring this up. I'm very against Brexit, as you may be able to see there. So resist Brexit. Yes.
Brexit.
The green ships. I don't really there's so much things about Brexit and the cargo shipping and stuff, but like if they make green ships, would it be as in like
no. Are they colour green or are they eco-friendly?
No, eco-friendly. Eco-friendly.
Well, no, the thing is because with the ships situation and the cargo, then all the ships is turning into what do you call it? Sound pollution. What do you call it? In the water? Sound pollution in the water. And I remember hearing things that with that, it's affecting the ecosystem and in the sea a lot. These
Yeah. Can I just add something?
Yeah,
We're on a
yeah.
huge tangent from Pete, but then talking about cargo and shipping, only 11% of food is actually eaten.
Well, the thing is,
Really?
if they,
Yeah, 11% of food, because you've got to think of like the wonky fruit and veg supermarkets say they're not good enough, and then
oh,
you've got
boy, they taste, they're like toddlers. If my sister has more juice than me, she goes mental. Like, oh, you have a centimeter more squash than me. It's like toddlers because well, my
just
sister's
because like a
8, but
carrot
no,
has one bump,
they
not good enough.
oh, it's so stupid. They're acting
I
like
know.
idiot. Like, oh no, this beetroot
I-
has a wonky.
Uh,
I said bump. We're not gonna sell that. It tastes the same. The bump's not gonna make it not taste nice, is it?
I
Um,
know.
honestly, we're
yeah.
going on a rant now. One more
Like
thing about the
we
just one more thing
we
about the
I would say children are the adults and they're the toddlers.
yeah.
The adults are the toddlers, but the children are the
Are the
adults.
adults
If you know what I'm
because
Well,
trying to say.
we
some
care about our
children are
future.
mature, some.
Yeah,
Yes, you know
Some.
who you are.
and some
Yes.
adults.
Yeah, like
Some
Some adults
like-
are adults. Some
like
adults.
most adults are really good, but like some are just idiots. And to add to the cargo thing, if they do green ships, eco-friendly, not paint them green, that would for Britain that would decrease a lot less oil spills, which is good. And greener buildings is also on the list, which is good. And protecting a natural environment. They who put oh my gosh, they just set down a list and now they're going against it and doing HS2.
UK is I think the
Have the UK done zero emissions ships already?
in 2050 zero emission ships are commonplace globally. I think
2050.
2050. Way too late.
2050.
Why do they
it's
set
way
these
too late.
stupid goals?
No, I think it was China. I heard this
Yeah,
on
for like-
Sustainable, a great
It-
podcast.
Yeah,
You know,
coming soon.
yeah. Clear.
very excited for that. And they said, China had a good. They have a good plan. Well, you know, decent for the country of their size. It's quite good. They started off with carbon free by 2080, but by now they've cut it down to 2040 or 50, I think.
I
Which
think
is
it's 50.
yeah, which is like most other countries, which is really really
Too
good.
late though.
It's too late, I know.
We have
Oh, no.
9 years now.
No,
To,
that isn't decent at all.
yeah, 9 years from now.
I know what you mean, but it isn't this decent, really.
9 years from now, there'll be a chain reaction beyond human control of ecological catastrophes.
The amount of times I've heard Joe say that, but it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really true.
Wow. So
Yeah,
we were talking
very, very
about
true.
Peat, and now we're talking about this.
And now we've got to this.
The road's just gone
This is
like
what I love
this.
about my opinion.
Yeah. So
Pete.
yeah.
Right, Pete.
I think the
As we talk
government
about Pete.
should. Well, they've done a 10-point plan, but they really, really need to add more things to it because they're adding the just general things, but they haven't thought of more advanced things. Well, kind of, but like
Yeah.
they should like putting a ban on this and this by this year because
Because-
they're saying we're gonna make more of these or make this greener, but they're not stopping. Well, except for the cars, they're not stopping other things from happening. They're just making more things greener, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think they should
Going
put
back
more
to-
bans.
The new coal
Going
mine.
back-
Have you heard of that?
It's in
Oh my gosh, yes.
England.
I've heard
I
of
just
that.
raged at the
Oh, that-
screen when I heard that.
That is absolutely awful. It's
Sorry.
just
Digging
going-
into
okay,
the ground releases CO2.
Margaret
Anyway.
Thatcher shut down all the mines, and now they're making more.
yeah, and
Yeah,
them
that's the
saying, "Oh,
thing.
we're not going to do any mines."
Like I was having a
Then-
chat with you, Joe, the other day
And I
about
thought they were
this.
going to ban coal, but in 2 years or something. If they're going to ban coal, why is there new mines being built?
Yeah, Joe, I was having a conversation with you
Bloody
about
crazy.
Margaret Thatcher the other day and how she shut down all the coal mines in Wales, which the jobs just it's like COVID jobs. When she shut down the mines in Wales, just down because so many people had jobs in the mines, and people
But
were
at the same
outraged.
time, it was bad, but at the same time, it
But
also
the thing is,
helped us
if-
out ecologically.
if the mines didn't close, the whole environment in UK would be much worse. So in a
Yeah.
way, that was
There's
that was
a good
actually
and bad. If
good.
we don't like for the well,
It's a sweet.
the big pit in the valleys. It's a museum about the coal mines, and you can
Oh,
go
yeah.
down to the coal mines. It was hell down there.
No, it was.
It
was-
this
it was-
man, the tour guide, got stuck in like a less than a meter big and very narrow tunnel overnight. And the horses, they were kept in.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for
yeah. The
months
horses were
and
kept
It was
down
a
there,
cruel life.
and the horses were only allowed to go up. I think it was like in summer, something like that. And it was absolutely crazy, and it was really annoying because down there it was just absolutely crazy because I don't know if Joe went down there. Well, Sarah
Yeah,
did.
I
It was
did.
just without the light, it was really, really, really dark.
It was
And
just-
imagine, and people used to die because they didn't either see the minecart coming or something like that. And lots of people used to die.
Oh,
suff-
I don't
su-
know if they told
suffocating.
you, but like
Suffocating
you know the
fast.
lift.
yeah,
The
yeah.
lift. They would set it to the setting. If there was a cart in there, it would just be free fall. Or if there were workers, it would go down slowly. Or sometimes they'd get it wrong, and these workers would be put in free fall in the lift because they thought
Why?
it was.
What would they put the
Mine-
mine carts? Not mine cart. What am I? What would they put the carriage? Not carriage. I can't think. But whatever. In free fall.
Because it's
Get it down
quick, I
quicker.
think.
Well,
But-
well, we're not trying to offend anyone who worked in the mine. We're just saying Margaret Thatcher
We're
was
saying our opinion.
an idiot, I must say, but she did do good for the environment. Mm. Well, no, if she didn't close the mines, we would be in a much worse situation right now.
Yeah, but
I would
she
say
wasn't really
'cause
thinking about the environment at all.
actually,
No.
we would actually like. Oh my god, it would be the state of the world would be loads worse because the UK was the biggest exporter of coal.
Cardiff, I think.
Cardiff.
Cardiff docks, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Oh yeah, Cardiff Docks used to be a big
But-
sport.
In India, the air pollution is like crazy. It's
Oh yeah,
sometimes
you need oxygen tanks apparently.
and
like New
it's like
Delhi.
just
I know.
grey in the air. This, I think, the UK
Wait.
would probably be like that at some point.
What are
Maybe
they
the valleys.
doing?
I don't. It's population. Population is
Population is a
everything.
big.
Is
it's
the
a big
issue
worry.
here.
Yeah,
What's the
it's a big.
population of India?
But anyway, go back to Peat.
Yeah,
The
going
CO2
back
that
to
it releases is
well,
too much.
well, no. The thing is, going back to Pete again. Pete is actually
gosh.
actually really really good for the environment.
It is.
And but the thing is, in humans, when we dig them up or something like that, it's just when it is exposed to the air, it gets released
Can I
into
just?
carbon dioxide into the atmosphere
I'm just gonna add
as
one
a
thing to the
greenhouse
India thing.
gas.
1 billion plus people live in India.
Mm.
Big-
India has
I thought it was 2 billion.
no. It's one. Well, it's 1 billion.
Person.
Go on, world meter.
1 billion. Yeah, I am 1 billion.
It's nearly more than
380
China.
million. Oh,
I think they're going to overtake China. Like
It's too much.
their population's
It's
going
just
up more.
the poverty there too.
I
It really,
can't.
it's sad and it's
This
really
is
bad.
so interesting. David Attenborough was saying to fight climate change, we actually need to increase the
Yeah.
increase living standards, because I don't know, but I think it makes it so there's less population.
So I know what Joe is saying. That I remember David Attenborough saying. So this is what's going to happen. The population is going to keep rising, and we and with lots of other animals, when it just keeps so this is what's going to happen. It's going to keep rising, then it's going to come to this point where it's just I don't know how this is happen it's going to happen, but it just can't go further, and it's going to start and it's going to start to decrease
because of like the disasters that will happen.
Well, I
Yeah.
think he said that
climate
because
change.
there are slums in a lot of countries, and hundreds and thousands of people live together, and I think diseases get carried around very easily there.
Yeah, because
But
I remember
that's well, it does kind of affect the environment, but maybe
Yeah,
because
but
they don't have well, yeah, I think because like so most people now have pretty eco-friendly homes, and
not most.
pretty.
but like
Nothing. No, not many
But-
people.
really
But
well
this is it's just going to keep rising, and then it's just going to come to this point when it just
One
and
thing
when
that people can
when
do
the
to
whole world is just going to be cramped and there's not going to be anything, and then it just and then people are going to not wanting to have kids because they don't want them to be born into this world. Some people are actually doing that. Some people are deciding not to have kids
This
because
is the
of
thing.
the world that's
If people got eco-friendly boilers, which is a heat pump, it like almost 50% of the CO2 emissions will be gone, because heating is one of the biggest, like, it's the number one thing I think people burn emissions for in a home. And
car-
if you switch to renewable energy,
So in conclusion, peat is environmentally friendly, but the way that humans are exposing it into the air, which is releasing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, is bad.
if you did come here to listen about Pete or watch, we are very sorry. We went a bit off board.
Yeah, that's our
But
opinions.
I don't know anyone that would actually want to listen on people talk about Pete for like half an hour.
Yeah.
well, some might.
Some might like Pete enthusiasts might. Well, we
Might.
gave you a bit of information about India and what are our opinions on
And the
situation
history
is.
of the UK.
Yeah, and Margaret Thatcher. So thank you
Brexit.
so much for watching or listening, and Joanne.
We will see you next time. But remember to check out our Instagram page at State of Nature Podcast.
You can listen on now. There is a new one. So Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and drum roll, please. Oh, Apple Podcast! It's not even a big deal. I think it's been on Apple Podcasts for a while, and we just haven't realised.
If you're a listener, weekly listener, you would know that we've been talking a lot about Apple Podcasts and how much we wanted to be on it.
And if you are listening on Apple Podcast, would you please consider rating it 5 stars, and maybe if you're on Spotify, following. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like,
And like.
comment, save the fishies like some people do, and see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bloopers.
Escucha.
Escucha.
I'm just gonna have another biscuit.
Joe, you have to say before we give Clara a bloody lesson.
You were eating a sandwich, Trevor.
Yeah.
A light snack is a sandwich.
Okay.
A light snack for me is a little biscuit.
Yeah, does Trevor look like Elvis Presley?
He does. Now you say that.
That's so random. Oh my god, I look like an obese lady.
I'm putting that in the bloopers.
Oh!
Look at me.
Okay,
Look at
a double chin.
my double chin.
Hey,
My face goes so big.
okay.
I'm so proud.
That is incredible.
What?
I'm just eating ice.
Wow.
No, I can be dramatic.
Loud eto.
3. Oh my!
Gosh! Imagine if somebody knocks like this.
We just spend our lives dilly-dallying.
Corpse. I'm corpse. I'm gonna be playing Minecraft. Why is
I am the imposter.
Hey, it's about. Today we are gonna be doing ear licking.
Ear licking? What is ear licking? What is ear licking?
Today we're gonna be talking.
I lost
Okay, Trevan.
it. What family group and they're all just talking about bath business.
Right,
What is a bath
3.
business?
Trevan has peed himself. Bits of pizza is good. It's 3
Bits
and 2.
of peas.
It's good.